Aries Saturn retrograde is going to show us where we have not been raising this child called Aries. And now we must raise this child called Aries. So you got to think of Aries like it's like a baby. It's literally the child of the zodiac. And that child is yours. It was birthed from your imagination, your beliefs, your heaven, Pisces. That's where it was birthed from. It's thoughts, words, and actions that you initiate, that you originate. In other words, what you create. It's not what you make, it's what you create and bring into existence. It's what you introduce into existence as thoughts, words, and actions. Saturn in retrograde is asking you to go internal, where all of this is sourced from, to establish authority with that child, or reestablish authority with that divine child. So that, listen, so that in trine, Leo Jupiter, the expressions of that inner child, there's authority behind it. There's management behind it. There's precision behind it. There's intention behind it. There's clarity of will behind it. In other words, the father walks behind the child, observing, watching. You understand? A child behaves different when the father's walking behind it. That father, that's where the Leo energy comes in at. You're putting a father behind that child. With that being said, we're learning to deliberately, to intentionally prime legacy through that child. That takes the father standing behind the child to make sure that the gifts, the expressions, the talents, the creativity of that child, it manifests into expressions that get refined, guided, procured, managed, directed, developed. Under the pressure of Pluto. Let's say this is the grandmother. Okay? The grandmother. And that is to make sure that there's authenticity with how all this is being done. Because after all, legacy is the point. Which is why the father walks behind the divine child. Because he's observing the child with the intention of legacy. I'm getting ready to die as the father. You're the one who's going to survive me. And I need to make sure that there's certain things that you know and understand according to the vision, the intent. According to reason that is bigger than us. According to the purpose that I know you are destined for. I got to prepare you to make legacy of that. To continue this legacy of who we are. With the powers invested in you. So, let's look into some more details about Aries Saturn retrograde, and I need you all to tell me what you think. You heard? So, I had to gather my thoughts a little bit. Trying to get a new alignment here so that I can, express the thoughts or ideas that I'm holding with this Aries Saturn retrograde. And where I left off at was the collective point to be made. Collectively, this goes back to every fourth house responsibility that we all have to assume as demographics, as cultures or cultural leaders, as influences and influencers within or transcending demographics, nationalities, and such. And it has to do with us collectively identifying where we have responsibility that has been neglected, accountability that has been dodged, escaped, or refused when it comes to the impact of our influence, the impact of our behavior and actions. The microcosm, obviously, you would convert that to, in your local world, in your local reality, what that means. But collectively, Cancer sets the precedence of the context. Because again, first decan of Aries is Mars. It's ruled by Mars. Mars has been the leading theme with the direct Aries-Saturn transit, starting with what we have learned through the Cancer-Mars retrograde, and that being the closing lesson behind Saturn's authority during that timeline. Okay, that's the closing lesson. This does have to do with identities. What is identity without the fourth house? The fourth house is what forms the emotional body behind the identity, the emotional perception behind the identity. The sensitivities are not behind the identity. It determines what is personal to us and what is not personal to us, what we take personal or not, because of those experiences of the fourth house. On the microcosm, of course, this has to do with, what happened growing up in your childhood home, under your maternal figures. Collectively, this has to do with the community that you identify with, that you belong to, that you come from. When you go to vote, or when you think of your forefathers, your ancestors, okay? There's a certain demographic, there's a certain nationality, there's a certain culture that goes with that. I have to explain it like this because there's this superficiality, okay, where we think that we have to apologize as we acknowledge. What do I mean by apologize as we acknowledge? We think we have to apologize as we acknowledge that we do come from different demographics, nationalities, race, gender, cultures, languages. And the guilty conscience of some people want to apologize as they express that. I'm not apologizing. That's why it feels unnatural for you to hear me talk about race so freely, talk about demographics so freely, because I don't have the guilty conscience to where I feel like I need to apologize for acknowledging what I know you see and what I know I see and what I know we all know and see. We all see and we all know what's going on in this country, in this nation. And it doesn't make anybody racist. It doesn't make anybody a hate speaker or whatever else to acknowledge the fucking obvious. You know what I'm saying? And so when I speak about these things, it can make people feel very uncomfortable because I'm bringing up what is taboo to talk about. It's taboo to talk about it. Not to me, though. To y'all niggas, it's taboo. It's not taboo to me. It's taboo to y'all niggas. That's why you freeze up. But anyway, that Aries Saturn, it's like, with all the influence in each nation, who's contributing to what influences, and what are we going to do about taking responsibility or accountability for what influence we know that we're having on the people, that we're having on the collective interpretation, that we're having on the attitude that we hold within our nations or our demographics, the beliefs that we hold within our nations and demographics. What are we going to do about picking our trash up? You see what I'm saying? So let me give another example. Say you live in a community with, a lot of different people around, apartment complex, projects, a bunch of buildings, condominiums or whatever, right? You step outside, it's trash everywhere, it's dog shit, you know what I'm saying? Vandalism in the cars, some people's kids is stealing out of cars, you know what I mean? You drive by, you got some, knuckleheads throwing rocks at the cars, for fun. Just madness, you know what I'm saying? Craziness going on in the neighborhood. And as you look at all these elements as it comes together, it creates, a hostile environment, a very unhappy, unpleasant situation, a toxic environment. But it's not just one family, it's not one person that's contributing to it, okay? It's a lot of different people that's contributing to it. It's several households or all the households that's contributing to it. The guy who smokes cigarettes over there every day, you see his cigarette butts in the same spot, but you know what I'm saying? This nigga never pick up his cigarettes. He smokes, speaking of, he stands there every day smoking a cigarette, and he just throws a butt, you know what I'm saying? And don't even bother to pick it up. You got the neighbors that'll walk that dog, that little ass ugly dog every day, and take a shit right in front of your building and won't even pick the shit up. So you got to step outside and smell that funky ass shit. You got your neighbor, she worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs, single mother or whatever, little badass kids while she going all day at work. These little badass kids is outside fighting, you know what I'm saying? Stealing shit, dancing with their music up all loud, smoking weed, you know what I mean? Vandalizing. Clicking up in the neighborhood, flashing guns on niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's contributing to all types of different things going on that makes our world unhappy, unstable, toxic. Aries Saturn is that every individual take responsibility for the unpleasant Cancer experience or community experience, which also includes Gemini, which is the effect that the environment has on the mind, on the perception, on the thoughts, the imagination, the opinions that we draw, the way that we interpret the symbol of that reality, but nonetheless, the backdrop of that is Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Or it might be the other way around. You tell me in the comments. And so, it takes honesty and humility for this accountability to manifest. It takes the honesty of the fact that I'm the person who stand there with a cigarette every day. It ain't somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's me that got those Newport or Marlboro buds sitting at the door, or all over the sidewalk. Because I'm the one who sits there every day at such and such time smoking those cigarettes and just flicking the bud right there. Community reports, HOA or whatever, reporting these little badass kids, terrorizing the neighborhood. I know they my kids. I'm working 3 jobs. But will I be honest enough to admit that, yes, those are my kids? It ain't no we, it ain't no us, nigga. It's you. Like when it comes to accountability, everybody like to use that word we. Everybody like to say us. You know what I'm saying? What is the we? What is the us? That's the polarity of Aries. Come on, yo, think, man. Come on, y'all niggas gotta think, B. Y'all niggas I gotta get you fucking thinking. God damn. I gotta get niggas thinking, man. That's the Libra. When you don't want to own the Saturn at Aries, you push it to the Libra. And you say we. You say us. You try to iron it over like everybody's doing it, but you know that you the one that's doing that shit. Nobody's asking you to take accountability for everything going on in the world or in the community, but take ownership of what the fuck you're doing. You. Not, yeah, we got all these bad kids in this community that's tearing shit up. That's somebody went and threw a brick through that car window the other day. Yeah, we got to do something about these kids. Nigga, you the only one that got 5 kids that ain't nobody fucking watching in the day and night. So how you saying we? Ain't nobody else kids out here running the street tearing shit up, but you talking about some we. Fuck you mean we? We what, nigga? That's your badass kids. We. We all gotta. You try to run your ass down to Libra because you hot and on fire in Aries, so you try to rush your ass down to Libra to escape the heat. Nah, nigga, bring your ass back. Bring that ass here, boy. Bring that ass here, boy. Fuck out of here. We got to do a better job of keeping our community, maintained. All these cigarette butts out here. Nigga, you the one standing there every day. Fuck is you talking? You stand there every day, twiddling on your cell phone, smoking three fucking cigarettes, and you just flick them joint. Anyway. So, I guess I could make the point that every demographic is contributing to the toxic climate of the country, of the nation, of the community. Every demographic. But do you have the courage, the transparency, okay, to be honest about what it is that you're contributing? What are you doing to the country? What are you doing to the nation that's real fucked up? Out of your demographic. You see what I'm saying? Every demographic has something unique that you're contributing to, of good, okay, and bad. Okay, something beneficial and something harmful. Every demographic is contributing something harmful or beneficial to the society overall. Every demographic is influencing a positive way and a negative way, okay? Let's acknowledge both. But because I'm a Leo rising, okay, Virgo second house, yes, I have a pessimistic view and I'm looking at the negative shit. I'm looking at what's wrong, not what's right, okay? Because hopefully that's part of the formula of refinement, okay, Virgo. Yeah, Virgo South Node. I ain't go, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to go too hard on it, but you get my MO where I'm coming from, okay? I'm being a Leo. In my being, I'm being a Leo by thinking along this wise. So it's like, it's taking ownership and responsibility for the power behind your identity, the power behind your personality, and the influence that it holds, the power behind your initiatives and your creativity. The things that you create, the things that you initiate, that gets imitated. You know what I mean? Or that gets echo chambered, that gets passed down to the next person and the next person. You know? So we think about the dysfunctional ways that we think and that we behave, and who are the influencers, individually and collectively, that leads to our children behaving or thinking this particular way, or us as adults in certain places in our world of thinking and behaving in certain ways that are not healthy or good or productive, that are very toxic, bad, negative. You understand what I'm saying? And so each of us as demographics, we got to take, as households, demographics, nationalities, communities, we got to take responsibility for what we're doing to hurt ourselves collectively, and what we're doing to hurt other people. You know what I'm saying? We gotta take ownership of that. Aries retrograde also has us to subject the expression of our identity to strategy and not just impulse. Because the impulse is, oh, I'm just being me, man. Yeah, I'm just being me. And you doing all type of things that, you got kids out here imitating you and being like you, doing the stuff that you do. And you out here being toxic, you out here being messy, you out here being a very bad example to the young man or to the young ladies. Oh, I'm just being me. I ain't no influencer. I'm just being me. Yes, you are an influencer. Rather you want to be or not, you're an influencer. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about, oh, I'm just being me. Yeah, you an influencer too. And so it's about getting intentional about that. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, okay, I have influence here. People watch me. Some people are inspired by me. Some people are not. Some people might be inclined to do some of the things that I do, or think along the lines of, or consider, some of the things that I like to think about or express or whatever else. Let me be mindful. Let me be more strategic about how I'm using my influence, how I'm using my presence, how I'm using my personality. You know what I'm saying? The first house influence. Let me be more intentional about that. I go back to what I say all the time. And that's the fact that as a Black American, for example, we own the hearts of the children in the world. Hands down. There's no question that can't be refuted. We own the hearts. Black males own the hearts of the children all over the world. They might not want to follow my old ass. You see what I'm saying? But my nephews, my sons, you see what I'm saying? The little niggas. They want to be, they imitate them. They pattern their expression after them. All over the world, Black American males. When it comes to feminism, or even in a healthy way, okay, let me be more positive here. When it comes to women looking for ways to express a more liberated side of themselves, African American females set the precedence for that, of what that looks like of what that looks like to express it that way. But knowing that I have that influence, I'm not talking about my old ass, obviously, but you know what I'm saying, just figuratively speaking, as a black male, I'm, using myself as an example. Knowing that I have that influence, should I be influencing kids in, India and Australia, Canada, and islands and all over all over? Should I use that influence irresponsibly? Should I be careless about the representation that I'm given, because I know that they're going to be watching me, imitating me, and trying to do the things that I do, think the way that I think, express yourself the way that I express myself. So if I know that, I need to be responsible and put strategy behind it. And putting strategy is putting intent and vision behind it. Okay? In respect to time. In respect to the continuum of time. You see what I'm saying? Because if you know that you're that influential, get intentional about making sure that you positively influence people. And don't allow your ego to get carried away into self-righteousness and assuming that there's no changes or modifications that need to be had in how you're expressing yourself. You know what I mean? I know I got a lot of changes. Man, I got hella changes to make. I've made changes. Hopefully I've made progress since I first started doing this, but I got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep presenting myself the way I have. You know what I mean? I got to grow and evolve. What does this come back to? You know what I mean? What does this come back to? What I just said. Leo Jupiter in opposition to Aquarius Pluto. You see what I'm saying? Aquarius Pluto is where you take consideration of the people. It's where you see that the effect that you're having on the people could be just as important as the expression that you need to facilitate for your inner child. So your inner child wants to expand its expression, but you have to make sure that it's not coming out toxic due to your shadows. Where did I get that? Where did I get that phrase, due to your shadows? Scorpio is also square to Leo Jupiter and Aquarius Pluto. Therefore, your shadows must always be taken into consideration with your expression. Not allowing the shadows to wreak havoc, but to give them direction and command. Shadows should give authenticity. It should give realness. It should give depth, sincerity. It should be the means by which you relate to the dark and to the deep and to the unrehearsed and to the taboo. That relatability, that realness. But it should not be a permission slip to eat away at the moral fabric of society, to breed corruption, to cause vice and ill repute. It shouldn't justify that. You see what I'm saying? And so, the Leo Jupiter expression and Aquarius Pluto point of limitation in your power. It's acknowledged by Aries Saturn transit. It's acknowledged by it. That acknowledgement is Saturn saying to us, I need you to be accountable and take responsibility for your being. for your presence, for the space that you take up, for what you take command of, for where you have a leadership influence and initiatives going on. I need you to take responsibility and accountability for what you are causing to manifest into existence and to be intentional about it, so that what you cause and what you create is good and not bad. You see what I'm saying? And that may mean we have to hold our expression up against our ego. We have to ego check our expression. We have to ego check it. Pluto is looking dead at Leo Jupiter. And Pluto is ego checking that expression 24/7. And when that ego gets out of hand and coming out of there, Pluto immediately, you know what I mean? Immediately nips it in the bud. So how can I use some examples, to my personal experience? You know the nigga shit that we traditionally, bring into the American society. You know what I'm saying? As young black brothers. You know what I mean? All that hood shit, the violence and gangsterism and dope selling and gun toting. You know what I'm saying? All this kind of stuff, that gangsterism and I'm not saying that that's what we all do. I'm not even saying that majority of us do that. But what I'm saying is, we know that there's a legacy of that reputation that we have a responsibility to outlive as black males. Okay? Because of our failure to be intentional about what's behind our influence, it falls into our subconscious patterns, the vices of our shadows, and the confusion of interpretations in media legacies that control narratives. And next thing you know, the nigga shit becomes a virus that reaches all over the world. You see what I'm saying? But we have the ability to take command of that, to manage it, to take ownership of it as an asset rather than a burden or a generational curse. We can change the story, we can change the narrative, we can stop the spread of that disease if we follow the instructions of Saturn to Aries. You know what I'm saying? Which is take responsibility for what's yours. You know what I'm saying? This is your baby. Take responsibility for your little bad. Aries is literally the baby of the zodiac. All right? I'm not exaggerating. Y'all tell me if I'm lying. Come on, people who know, confirm me in the comments that I'm telling the truth. Yes, Aries is the baby of the zodiac. So Saturn is saying, yo, you gonna take responsibility for this little nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what Saturn is saying. This is your little nigga, you gonna take responsibility for him. You know what I'm saying? He running around here, tearing stuff up, jumping up and down on the furniture and biting people and kicking people and stuff like that. Excuse me, you need to see about this little boy. That's what's happening here, people. All right? The character behind the little boy, the expressions behind the little boy is what? It's Leo. Y'all see what I'm saying? Yo, y'all see how beautiful astrology is? Come on, man. Aries is literally the child of the zodiac, nigga. That's your little nigga running around here, you know what I'm saying, tearing shit up. Saturn is telling you, the parent, the owner, the parent of that child, take responsibility, hold him accountable, train him, do something. But he can't do what the fuck you want to do. You know what I mean? Get this little nigga. The expression of that divine child, Aries, is with Leo. The expression is what it's what he does effectively. Okay? The expression is in opposition to Aquarius Pluto, which is the feedback of society, where the power of that expression is having consequence to the public or society. It's having consequence, okay? Because power is consequence, or consequence is power. Stick with me. So Pluto is asking you what you're going to do, what adjustments or changes, transformations you're going to make to that expression, so as to stop, prevent, or minimize the liabilities of that expression. This is as individuals and it's as collectives. You see what I'm saying? I got the sun, my natal sun is at the 11th house. I think, about the collective. I think of things in context of the collective. So I don't know if I miss people with that. I have no idea. But that's why I always include the collective when I talk about things. You understand what I'm saying? I think I found a way to say all of that without saying sensitive things. I'm proud of myself for that. You know what I mean? I had to step back. I showed you on the last video, you know what I'm saying? I'm at the limitation of my humanness too. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody else is. I came to the limitation of my ability to express, my ability to communicate. I stepped back, had to take a breath, you know what I'm saying? Readdress it right here. And you know what I'm saying? Shit don't stop. I came to a limitation, because it's frustrating. It's annoying, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. It's like you got to be so careful with what subjects you even bring up, because it's like, I'm trying, man, to be considerate. But niggas got to meet me halfway. It's like there has to be so much censorship for sensitive people to where boom. I don't know how to communicate without the authenticity there. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm going to say something to you, if I'm going to talk to you, if I'm going to have a conversation with you or whatever else, I need to speak from my heart. I'm a Leo rising, so I got to speak from my heart. You see what I'm saying? I can't speak from my heart if I got to constantly filter the shit. You know what I mean? Because it makes me feel like I'm lying or something. I don't like that. I like to speak straight from my heart, so you understand what I mean. I'm not out to hurt people. It's just that a lot of the things that I choose to talk about, that shit is going to hurt because it's a lot of honesty. I'm not trying to weaponize the truth because I'm making a point. The pain is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? I can't do all the work. The pain is inevitable. Some of you gotta grow up. Some of you gotta grow up, man. It just is what it is. I didn't mention certain things because I just gotta trust that you're gonna think of those things. Because if I mention certain things, it's gonna hurt. But I'm just trusting that you will be mindful enough to think, what type of influences are we learning to heal and address that's coming from certain loyalties, cults, cliques, cultures, subcultures that has been affecting us the most in this world. The farthest I'm going to go with saying that, just so I can keep this message pleasant, is to remember South Node Libra is what we closing out. So y'all should already know where to go with that. You know what I mean? Also, Capricorn Pluto is closing out, so y'all should already know where to go with that. Also, the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? The influence of the algorithm. Now, locally, personally, you should know what this means in your life. Where you're going to have an introspect of what it means to take full authority and accountability with your ability to influence and assume leadership at any given time because of your divine power, your spiritual power, and your expressions. And, I explain how all of that relates, of course. And with Mars and Uranus at Gemini, and with us closing a Mercury retrograde, this does mean a lot with how we communicate and with what we're communicating. You look at the legacy of how we have become influenced the way we have. It's between images and communication. Which is Neptune, Pisces with the images, and communications with Gemini transits, which are picking up and accelerating, especially with Uranus going into Gemini. There's a review on what influence we're having and what intention or not we're putting behind images and words. And where have images and words gotten us, especially through the internet, since that Pisces-Neptune transit? Words and influences, images, how we look, how we show up in the physical, and what we're communicating out to the world as messages. You know what I'm saying? And how it's affecting the psyche, the thought process and belief systems of the people, and how the algorithm has a corporate intent behind it. That is not favorable to the people, but it's favorable to the dollar. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, I think we get the point of this, collectively. And I would like your feedback. You know what I'm saying? I like everybody's feedback on, what you think about it, how you relate to it, or, how you interpret it in your own reality. You know what I mean? I like to hear all of that because, we all can learn from somebody else's perspective, feedback, different things of that nature. The infamous.